Hi there, traders. This is Brad Gilbert with the FX Market Insight for Thursday, the 21st of Feb. Right, as we come out of the North American session, the start of the Asian session, there's not a hell of a lot of change from yesterday. If anything, Euro's just holding ground above at sort of 113.20, and the Aussie as well, sitting patiently up there at 71.80 ahead of the really key employment data today. The Kiwi starting to trade sideways at this point. Brexit, well, we were down at 128 a couple of days ago. No surprise to see it pop up towards 131. So, the whole Brexit thing's playing out. It's going from good to bad, basically. So it's hard to still work out where the end result's going to be. But we'll have to keep an eye on that. Oil, well, dollar CAD's lower, and that's following oil higher, right? So you can see the clear correlation there with oil. It is impacting as well, and dollar yen pretty much sideways. Now, funnily enough, just looking at these currencies, you'd think there wasn't much sort of out and about. Now, the key thing that was out was obviously the Fed minutes. Now, this is, what we usually get by the time the Fed minutes come out, we usually know exactly what's going on. They've already said their piece. But you know what? In their minutes, it did highlight that they are still commenting on that the economy's strong, employment's strong. So, how long are they, and there's a need to be patient. But basically, this brings back into the scope, and it should be, because it's what Jerome Powell mentioned in the first place. The next move on rates is really going to come down to the economic numbers. If they're strong, well, they'll have to raise rates again. So basically, they're commenting that the rates, the economy is still going very strong. It still looks good, which just gives people a little bit of an alert that, okay, they've said rates are on hold, but if the data's strong, we're going to raise rates. So anyway, there was a little bit of thrashing about, but not a lot of activity, as you'd expect. And then you look at these major currency pairs, they look pretty sedate following the Fed minutes, all right? So we've got the currencies just hanging around at the moment, and they are waiting for key data to really kick things off. Now, I've got a big cross there next to sterling. It's a bit of like a dog's breakfast at any rate, I should say. Just coming across here, look at the dollar index. Okay, we've got, excuse me, the dollar index broke down sort of through this support line around sort of 96.80. It's just drifting lower at this point. Nothing like, it's still not really going anywhere, right? This is the Fed minutes were the first real big US result where we have got some sort of movement. And you can see here the sort of price action around the Fed, dip lower, then straight back up. So to me, the dollar's still going sort of sideways, just drifting lower. The one big mover still is dollar China. Now, either the Chinese know that it's going to be a good deal, or the US, whoever's in charge of the US, is leaked that out to their friends, because dollar China is rallying. That looks like a Chinese rally compared to dollar weakness. Okay, so wait till we hear what's going on. I wouldn't be surprised if Trump's got himself long China, long yuan, and cashing in on the announcements he makes any day now. All right. So anyway, the whole thing about trading is what's coming up, right? And this is where the things really heat up. We've got now the majors are sort of drifting a bit sideways. They are lacking general direction, and the Fed minutes, even though they highlighted that the economy is still sort of strong, the majors still don't have any major direction. Now, I was highlighting in the 247 trade zone one pair in particular which is going the wrong way compared to all its fundamentals, and that's the Aussie. It's been edging higher. All the fundamentals are weak. We've got probably the last piece of the puzzle here, which is the Aussie employment data. So you got the employment change, the unemployment rate, participation rate, all these things coming out at once. That is going to be a cracking opportunity. If it's weak, okay, it would be one of the last numbers to fall in weak. And it's really going to put pressure on the downside, especially with the RBA potentially needing to cut rates much sooner than forecast. So just keep an eye on this one as you go through the day. And then as we scroll through the European session, okay, you've got the German flash manufacturing numbers, the ECB policy meeting accounts. Any sign of more dovish comments from the ECB or Draghi with regards growth in Europe falling, well, you're going to see Euro come off as well. So this is another really good potential today with that data. Then you've got US durable goods. We've got Polo's speaking, and we've also got the RBA Governor Lowe speaking. So that'll be quite important following the employment numbers earlier today. All right, so there's plenty of action. This is where, for me, I've been waiting for Thursday all week. Okay, this is where the major releases are. The currencies are just sitting there waiting to be hit. What we need some good variance out of these numbers to give us direction and really push these currencies around. So plenty to play for today. Tune up your charts. Get ready to trade. This is where it's at. All right, guys, have a good one. We'll see you in the 247 trade zone. Cheerio.